Well, hi friends, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be the last video I have for this year, 2025, on my Epiphyllum blooms. And I'm showing you a few stills here at the beginning to show you some of the ones we're featuring in this last video of the year. It's been a great year, it's been mild, the blooms have been lovely, and it's getting to be middle of summer now. This is June 12th, 2025. So we'll be saying goodbye to the Epiphyllums until next year. I have a lot of work I need to do, some repotting. You saw a great repotting video here on my channel just a week or so ago. So I'll be repotting, I'll be fertilizing, I'll have plenty to keep me busy. Here you see one of my hybrids that's not named. Very pretty thing with pretty light edging. We've got another late in the month bloom of Fiesta de Flores. I had a couple blooms on this plant this year, and one of them went to the show with me, so I didn't get a chance to take a picture of it before it was entered. So it's nice to have another bloom to appreciate here at home. And here is a really beautiful, beautiful Darrow Miyamoto hybrid. This is called Immortal. And Immortal is just so pretty. I wish I had had this for the show. Such a beautiful orange, bright fuchsia edging on the inner petals. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Well, good morning. This is Memorial Day, May 26th, and this is Suzanne. This is kind of a late blooming cultivar, beautiful deep red with fuchsia edging to the petals. This is the first of several blooms that I'm going to have on this plant. I've got 2, 4, 6 more buds maybe. So something to look forward to in June. We've got a lot of other flowers here that are more or less fading. I'm going to have another rococo. Here we've got a Doris Pittman that some kind of a bug got to the petal edges there on the sepals. That's always a shame. But it's a beautiful flower regardless. And we've got another Frida Kahlo about to pop open here. We still have Fiesta de Flores looking pretty nice. It's been open for, I think this is the 3rd day, so it's lasting pretty nicely. Our weather's been cool. It's been overcast in the mornings. Looks like we're going to have another bloom on Sparkle, which is a small red. And we've got Yellow Tang. This one is way in the back of my growing area. Kind of hard to get you a nice picture of it, but there it is. We've got several more flowers still to come on Yellow Tang, so that's always a nice thing to see in June. And not to be forgotten is Evening Delight. This was dragging on the floor. It's been open a couple days, but it's a very pretty thing. It's a very pretty bloom. I just love that bluish purplish pink combo on this one, and then the kind of peachy back sepals. Nice. So that's Evening Delight. Of course, you know this one, one of my favorites, Doris Pittman. I love that I've had so many blooms on this every year for the last several years. One of my favorites. And so we have the curse of the no-name flower. Isn't that a pretty thing? That was sold to me as priceless, but it really is not priceless. So I had to buy another different clone from a reputable nursery of priceless. And this plant, although it's beautiful, I don't think I'm going to hang on to it. I'm going to donate it to our plant sale that's coming up in the middle of June and just sell it as a no ID. So that's the sad story of the no ID epiphyllum. Real estate is too valuable around here to be taken up by no ID plants. I don't have very good lighting this morning to really show you how bright the colors really are. That's a little bit better. But that's my no ID. Beautiful, beautiful. Here are our two beautiful blooms on Suzanne. Souzan, Dawn Burnett hybrid. What a pretty red that is. So red. Gorgeous. Well, I had to pull my yellow tang plant out from the deep recesses of my growing area. It was really up next to the house and really hard to get to. But it was worthwhile bringing it out because it's so pretty. I've got two beautiful blooms right now. And the only other thing I've got blooming right now that's really pretty is rococo. So I tried to pollinate these with rococo and vice versa. I don't know if the cross will take because I don't see a lot of pollen, but we'll see. I still have I still have more buds on yellow tang. I've got this one here, another one over there, another one here. So we'll see what happens. But there it is today. And today is May 29th, 2025. Here's the rococo that I tried to use to cross-pollinate with yellow tang. Here is Suzanne, fading now. It's been open a couple of days. The other one is already faded. And we have another bloom opening on Independence Rock. So this should be nice for tomorrow. And that's really about it. Of all the things that you have not seen yet in my yard, that's it. And here we are on the last day of May 2025. I came outside and saw this lovely bloom of this old cultivar, Flirtation. It's a very hardy plant. Blooms pretty freely. I haven't had any blooms on this one for a couple of years. I probably need to fertilize it a little more. But it is such a lovely, unusual, deep pink. Such a really pretty color. So I just wanted to share that with you. That is Flirtation. Well, here we are. It's the 4th of June. And here is beautiful yellow tang. It likes to bloom a little bit late in the year, which is fine because that's nice to see something pretty late in the season. I had so many blooms on this plant this year. And our weather's been fairly cool, so we've got a nice deep yellow color. I've noticed through the years that one of the factors influencing color of the blooms is the temperature at the time the buds are forming. And we've had a pretty mild season this year. Our winter was mild, not too cold. And so far we haven't had any hot weather, but when the weather's very, very hot, these yellow blooms tend to fade out and they're not as deep yellow. And even just a little difference in temperature, like say the difference between where I live in the Inland Valley here in California and the San Diego area, they're generally about 10-15 degrees cooler than we are on an ongoing basis. And when I see the blooms from that area that people show, they're always much deeper yellow in color when they have the yellows on display. So there is yellow tang. Suzanne is still looking really good. I think this is, oh, I've got one more flower to go after this one. There's Suzanne. I really love a nice deep red. So I really appreciate Suzanne. That's spelled S-O-U-Z-A-N. It's a Dawn Burnett hybrid. Here we have Scott Hazelton blooming. And I don't know if you can see, but there's a little hitchhiker inside there. Some kind of a bug. I don't even know what it is. Kind of blends in with the green in the throat of the plant. But there's our Scott Hazelton. So let's go around to the back. I think I have an extra special treat to show you, because what a dream is blooming, and what a dream it is. Here's our lovely large blossom of What a Dream. That's another Dawn Burnett hybrid. Such a pretty pastel combination of shades here. Peachy, pinky, fuchsia in the center. Gorgeous. So this is also another plant that always blooms reliably late in the season. So that is What a Dream. And we're into June already. Here we've got a beautiful bloom on Andromeda. Isn't that a pretty thing? It's a medium bloom. A very nice surprise to come out here in the first weekend of June to see this lovely bloom. Andromeda. I like how there's yellow tipping on the inner petals. Very pretty. And what do we have here? We have our final bloom of Suzanne for the year. Isn't that gorgeous? I love Suzanne. S-O-U-Z-A-N. Dawn Burnett hybrid. If you've watched my videos, you've seen it before, many times. But I never get tired of looking at it. And rounding out our video of Epis for the 2025 season, I think this is probably going to be the last bloom I have. This is an unknown, or an unnamed, I should say, seedling from unknown parentage. And I've had this plant for quite a long time, for probably about 10 years. Watched it bloom for the last few years. Don't know if it's actually worthy of being registered. It's pretty, but there are a lot of other blooms very similar. So, I don't know. I'll just keep it around because I like it and because it's blooming late. So I hope you enjoyed this video of the late blooming Epiphyllums. Today is June 12th. And this is just rounding up the end of the season here. Thanks for watching. Take care and have a real great rest of the summer. We'll see you again in the next video. Bye.